My name is Ellemiek Drucker. I live on the Isle of Wight. I'm a between-life spiritual regression therapist. I'm a proud mum of 2 teenage boys, really enjoying life on the Isle of Wight. Between-life spiritual regression is a form of hypnosis where I take the client into a deep state of relaxation, and then I take him back to the period in between lives to experience the journey their soul was on before they were born into this life. I was very lucky growing up in Holland that my parents never really pushed a religious or spiritual narrative onto me and my brother. So we were really given a lot of freedom to discover what we thought was important. You know, why are we here? What am I here to do? Really searching for ways of improving my life, getting those deeper answers for myself. After high school, I went to the States, was an exchange student for a year, lived with a wonderful family in Colorado. After that, I studied some more, then just had a series of office jobs, in banks. I worked in nature conservation, where I met my husband. After 10 years in Holland with me, he really wanted to go back to England. So then I went back to university, did a psychology degree, and that really rekindled my love for spiritual matters. So I did training with Dolores Cannon, the QHHT, and then I discovered Andy Tomlinson with the Past Life Regression Academy. They train hypnotherapists, regression therapists, and between-life spiritual regression therapists all over the world, both in person and online. When I discovered Andy Tomlinson, it was like a new world opened up for me. I'd done regression into past lives before, but there it was lacking the clarity for me. I'd go back to past lives, but I wouldn't know why I was feeling sad, for example. And with Andy and his method, I know exactly what's happening. I know why I'm sad, and there's so many different techniques for resolving whatever issue comes up, or for getting a real clarity into what happened between lives. So it's just a fascinating method. I offer sessions on the Isle of Wight, in Glastonbury and in Holland, and via Zoom. Clients that come to me for between-life spiritual regression are usually clients that don't really have any issues in their current life. They have questions. They want to know who they are, whether they're on the right path, what they can do to improve their relationship. So it's not so much that they've got things going on. In fact, if they do, I would generally suggest that they resolve those first with regression therapy, for example. But a between-life spiritual regression just gives insight to questions that they might have. I met Dan through a mutual friend of ours, and I've done one discovery session where I took Dan back to a positive past life. That was a really interesting experience for him. He's now coming back to me for a between-life spiritual regression because he's got questions about his life, and he just wants to know the journey that his soul undertook between his last death and his birth now as Dan. So I'm really excited what Dan's going to uncover during his session, and we never know what's going to happen. One of my mentors always said, we're simple folk in regression therapy, we just follow the energy. So wherever the client needs to go, that's where we'll go.